What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. Today we have a brand new market watch. I was actually going to take the day off, but the Cyverse link structure dropped on TCG Player. Let's talk about the prices. First off, do realize that these vendors are getting the structure deck at about $5 to $6. So they are making quite the profit on these initial prices if you're buying. Cosmic Cyclone at $327, Trigate at $385. It'll probably stay around here, and I'll tell you why. A Dimensional Barrier at $335. Now, right there, if you're a consumer, this is your money back in current pricing of $10 if you go and buy this at a Walmart or support your local OTS, which is what I suggest you do for buying this actual structure deck. A lot of people are just going to want Trigate Wizard. They just got these cards out of the Megatins. They have them in nice hollow foil print, so these may go down as people already have them, but a ton of people will be grabbing Cyclone probably over D-Barrier. Yes, Pendulum Magicians are big right now. You could side this in for going second, but most people are going to be grabbing Cyclones. That's probably the card they held off on, as you have access to so many other spell and trap destructions. You might have just wanted to wait for the cheapest price. Well, it's here. It's a bit expensive for what it is though right now, so wait, and I think we'll see it maybe chill out to $250, maybe. But Trigate Wizard, this will probably be the most purchased card, as it's an extra deck enabler. It has 2 sideways arrows for you and an up arrow to co-link into whatever you have in your extra monster zone. It's a good card that the Spiral Duelists will be using. Dual Symborm, a good effect, but I don't know what it'll be doing price-wise. Currently sitting at $1 for start. Blow Up Bulb, the hype is here, $1.78. I do believe I saw this on eBay already at $1.33. Soul Charge over here, $1.55. I feel like this is the terraforming effect, when we would hope terraforming coming out in a new structure would really cool the price of all of them. Probably not in this case, because the Monarch structure deck was one of the most torn open structure decks of all time, and that common is still sitting around 2-ish if it didn't dip a little already because of this, so I don't expect Soul Charge to go down too much despite it flooding the market and being a one-of. Encode Talker, people will want it, show card. I have no clue if it'll go up or down from there. Storming Mirror Force, $. There's just so much value in the structure, it's ridiculous. And TCG players lagging a little today, so do bear with it as we go through. We got Gold Sark at $1. Geesh. Cynet Backdoor, alright, sitting at $1. Unexpected. Moon Mirror Shield here at $1, but 47 cents. Super Games trying to cheapen the market. But great card, Rogue players love it. King Cabu sitting at 80 cents by Super Games as well, before 92 cents. And after that, the value starts falling off. But there's, ooh, Magician of Faith, nice. I didn't really look through too much of the list besides the notable money cards originally, and it is looking pretty nice if you are a store ripping these open. Now, what I suggest to you is, if you want just the main Link monster, go ahead, go for that. But if you're not going for just Trigate Wizard, if you're going for the Cyclone or the Barrier with it, just get the structure deck and you'll have trades to use over time. You know, throw-ins and deals that really seal the deal, that kind of thing. You're missing out on value if you're going for more than just this and you're trying to buy the singles, in my opinion. So you should be able to get a hookup somewhere. Maybe you won't even have to pay the full 10. I know certain stores, I think Team Samurai X always shouts out his store for doing this, that they'll do 3 structure decks for 25. A lot of local OTSs may hook you up in that way because they're making their guaranteed money anyway. So check your local OTS, see if you can get a deal. If not, support them. That's where I would go to buy these, over like Walmart or TCG Player. Next up, moving into an oddly high price all of a sudden, is Dark Magician, the red version, the alter art from the Yugi legendary decks. You see its market price of $246. We go down. Damage, light play, near mint, $432. Now, how did I know this one? How did I figure out the Dark Magician of all cards was suddenly moving, a card that's been sitting kind of stale? And on eBay, it's up here too. $449 for near mint, $449 from St. Goose Girl, and then $6. Geesh. Well, I went over to Troll's Hot Buy list, and while they don't always have the best prices, they do tell me what's going on. So, for example, I can't blame this for them. Like, this is the old market price, $250. They're literally buying it at the old market price. But I do like Troll's Hot List for other reasons, such as, look at this Zark. 550 on the first ed, yes, say. Well, we come over here, first ed near mint, 550. They're literally buying it for more than a penny than this guy is selling for, and he wouldn't take fees selling to them. And there's not just one, there's multiple. But Zark does seem to be trending upwards for some reason. As you see, it's actually cheaper over here on TCG Player than it is eBay. One of those rare instances where if you don't want one from a foreign place like Canada and you want it faster, $7 is the going rate on eBay. So it does seem that Zark for some reason is starting to trend upwards, and Troll and Toad lets me know that. But there's also sellers that are taking fees that could just sell it to them and get their money if they knew about this. So I do like that Troll's hot buy list tends to be competitive. It tends to be really good, and then it also lets me know what's trending. I wouldn't necessarily sell them to this one to them because it is, but I definitely would be selling them Zarks. And I get that I'm sponsored by Troll, but sometimes they actually get mad at me for how I like tell you guys like specifically things like I wouldn't sell them to Dark Magicians, but I would sell them to Zarks. Like I'm always going to have my audience's interest at best, but it is a good place to come check to see what is trending. Like Vanity's Fiend. It's a really good card, and the Battles of Legend one is starting to move away from the market, so they're probably selling them fast, and it's a good indicator. But they are an independent store, so it's not always the best look at the market, but it does tell me, wow, they're buying it 100% on Zark, and wow, this card is trending. So it's worth checking in from time to time. ABC Dragon Buster sitting here at $3.17. Alrighty, that does seem indicative of its market price. It's something I also saw on the troll list that I just didn't know was a $3 card again. Like I would have figured this was sitting at $2, maybe $1.50 if it was in my trade binder, but it's at $3. This is just me being slow, but it's nice to know. Now if I come over to eBay though, it's $3.20 before $4, and this one is near mint, but that's a pretty big gap before it starts to go up very fast by USA sellers. So TCG Player is kind of winning today on a lot of prices, but they'll be losing on a few here in a second too. My repetition of always check both is about to start here, boys, because Skull Crobat Joker, it seems to be up from when I last looked at it. Remember, they were about threes. We see 375, but then we actually see 350 before 430, so quickly going up, although there's one lower. This picture doesn't instill the greatest of confidence, but it does seem to be the Pivo version. I wish you wouldn't put multiple things in your listing to attract attention, but I understand it. And so it's 430, 430 next. Wisdomite actually sitting at $3 cheaper on eBay than the 380 to 450 next on TCG Player, with only 8 total prices. So Wisdomite almost completely gone from Pivo on TCG Player, and only 17 results. So if you're planning on playing this deck, you realistically do need to get your Wisdomites now. But it's still cheaper on eBay by a little bit before it quickly goes up and joins as well. Not many sellers, although some sellers will have multiple quantities. I heavily suggest you go to eBay and get yours now real quick. And then we see, you know, people don't play as many Pendulum calls. It's just sitting at its market price. Astrograp's actually gone up from when I think we last looked at it, just by a couple cents. But this is definitely one of the dominant meta decks. A lot of people wanted me to look at this set. I don't suggest investing in it. Its time will be quick, and it's probably the next deck to get hit in my opinion. Even with the hype of that new Metal Foes Link monster, I feel like they'll eventually do something to this deck before we see it, or quickly after we get that Link monster. So maybe it will have its time in the meta, but I personally don't see this as a long-term kind of keeps. I see it as very short-term, but if you're playing the deck, get your Wisdomites now. Left Arm Offering is up on TCG Player. Tons of people have asked me to cover this. It's doing nothing realistically. Like people are targeting this for a buyout for some reason, and I don't see what it's doing in the meta. Let me know. I'm down to admit when I don't know what's going on, but it was bought out to that point on eBay too. As you see, all the lowest listings are new listings, but still, below its market price over here, I really do not know what's going on with this card. But something I did actually want to touch on is I like Millennium Pack as an investment set long term. It reminds me a lot of DR4 and Retro Pack and other things where it introduces new anime cards such as this Winged Dragon of Ra, but it also introduces alter art prints. Yes, I would go for the PCY version of this. But as we head towards the other pages on here, and I know this is extremely slow, so I have some other stuff pulled up. It has alter arts of the show cards, very specific new anime cards. Dark Paladin, you know, one of the most coveted cards. Realistically, I think it should be $1. We see it at 21 cents. Black Skull Dragon, used to the commons, were way more, 17 cents. This is a set I feel like will go up over time. This Thousand Dragon, it looks real nice. Like, this Flame Swordsman might look a little derpy, but it's still an alter art, and it's its first inception into the game. All this is super cheap right now, so it's just things that I would think long-term might go up if they never see reprints in these arts again, and it may be only the set, so it just has a really close feeling to me of Retro Pack / DR4 like 10 years down the line. So nothing that you're gonna get and instantly flip, but like this Celtic Guardian's really cool to me. 8 cents for a rare. That's almost that's like they're picking out a bulk and giving it to you. Like that's why it's so cheap. But over 10 years, just watch this set. I know that's a long time to say, but over 10 years, like the Retro Packs, etc., this set's a keeper, and I would just get as much of it as I could to set aside. Another card I actually didn't know was anything out of there is Trap Hole of Spikes. And whenever I'm playing Trap Tricks in a deck building challenge on Dueling Book with the stream, I actually end up putting this in with my Rafflesia just for a one-of because it's like a battle trick. The lowest is actually pretty surprising at $1.60. So it's just a card I wouldn't have known is money if I had it. Maybe you didn't know, and I wanted to show you guys that. And I think that might be it. Oh yes, Code of the Duelist. I wanted to show you real quick. Firewall's kind of stabilizing, still under the $40 mark. But Ningirsu is up to almost $10 heading there. And then Ferret's back up on TCG Player. I haven't checked eBay really. So remember it was down to $640. It's just up a little. Ningirsu is heading up also. It just seems like a lot of the bottom stuff, like Spellbook Knowledge staying stable, is heading up or staying, where Firewall is just the main fluctuation. This is still at $18, which is, ooh, 50 cents more spooky. But realistically, Code of the Duelist, the most interesting thing to me was Ningirsu, the Ignister of Links. I will repeat that always. The non-targeting removal. He is almost $10, so that's interesting to me. This one-up just keeps slightly creeping up. But there's your market watch for the day. What did you think of the Cyverse Link structure deck prices? Dark Magician creeping on up. I wouldn't have known this one without Troll and Toad, so kudos to them. And also full price Zarks. Go sell them now, boys. Go get your $5.50 if you want it.